If you're not being treated well in a friendship, then you have to stop being in it. You are not forced to be with people that don't consider you, but yet you still feel the need of staying in it because you guys have been friends for years, but that does not mean anything. You are putting your mental health on the line and you're also wasting a lot of time. Let's say that there's this girl that has been in a friendship with four other girls for a very long time. Since they were in kindergarten, they've known each other and they technically grew up together. And so you might think that it's all cute, they've known each other. That's really cute. That's an amazing position to be in. But the problem is that they have been in conflict over these years. It has been a really toxic friendship. And her friends have always been treating her horribly, just not considering her feelings, just thinking about themselves and not thinking that she was a human herself. They were always criticizing her, always making her feel bad for what she was doing. Even every little accomplishment she had, they wouldn't recognize it. They would always ignore her, always just make her feel bad about herself, make her feel worthless. And do you really think that's a good way to treat your friends? This girl was always kind. She did not have the courage to actually stand up for herself because she told herself they're her friends, so she might just stick with them. They've been friends for such a long time that she just doesn't want to ruin anything. So she was just always nice to them, always just dealing with every words they were just throwing at her, and she was just there, always dealing with all the bad treatment. Her friends were always just making these really odd jokes about her, always just these mean jokes that you kind of hear once in a while with these really toxic friendships of maybe, oh my god, look at her, she looks just so, For instance, maybe they were supposed to go to a party and everyone was just talking about everyone's outfits, and when it came to her, they were just throwing these mean comments of, oh my gosh, look at her, like, no, just these little few comments that you just don't say to someone that's your friend, even if you consider it a joke. It's not a joke because it's actually a mean comment. There's a difference between jokes and actually being mean on purpose, but just camouflaging it with saying that it's a joke. But anyway, she has been dealing with them for a long time. She couldn't stand up for herself, and so then it was their last year of high school, 12th grade. And so that's when she started to mature a lot more and had other friends that were actually treating her well. And when she was in that group of friends that she knew for a very long time around her other new friends, those friends kind of just realized how not normal that kind of behavior was towards her. Let's call her Maya. So then Maya was still kind of just not understanding well until she found these new friends that were telling her, the way they're treating you is not okay. And you should not be in a position where you accept that treatment whatsoever. No matter the amount of time you guys have been together does not mean it's okay for them to treat you that way. And they were basically just giving her a lot of advice on friendships and how she should deal with it and what she should do. The last advice was to leave them because there was no purpose in being with friends that were treating you this bad. So eventually, when she graduated, she decided, you know what, that is not a group of friends for her, and that she should just not ever put herself in that position. But the problem is she's been with them for years, so this amount of time consumed so much of her time, so much of her life that could have been spent with other individuals that she was able to find when she hit 12th grade. But these kind of friendships, you have to realize, are going to traumatize you for a very long time. If you don't decide from the start, oh, this is not the way I should be treated, this is not okay, and just knowing that you need to follow your boundaries, you need to make boundaries for yourself. Trauma usually happens when an individual goes through an event that lasted a very long time. And so that's why as soon as a bad event happens, as soon as something bad happens, you want to make sure you understand why it's bad and why you should not interact with it whatsoever, and how you should consider just getting out of that situation immediately, because the more you stay in that situation, the more it's going to hurt your body, it's going to harm your body, because you need to realize and understand that your body absorbs every single thing that happens to you. Maybe you don't realize it, but your body registers everything. It doesn't forget until you heal from it. So when you're still in that environment that is harming you, your body is registering everything until you decide, oh, you know what, this is not good for me, and you leave. But the moment you leave, your body's going to react in ways that you're not even going to understand, because you did not know your body would even remember, but it's going to remember everything. And so you start just being isolated, not being able to interact with new people, not being able to open up to people, having trust issues. All of that is a result of what, through all these years, you accepted bad treatment, bad behavior from other peers. That's why the friends that were treated the worst in a friendship and that actually get out of it just find themselves in a situation where they're not able to find new friends the way they did. They're not able to open up to people the way they did. It's just so much harder for them to actually be normal towards socializing, because their body just went through so much, and now it means they need to heal from it. But healing is another process that takes a lot. It takes a lot. And so healing is a really big process that is not easy to go through. That's why it's really important to minimize the amount of time your body is going through a very traumatic event, because you don't want it to deal with the process of healing, because the more you stay in a traumatic situation, the more your body is going to need to heal from it. So as soon as something negative happens, try to get out of it as soon as you realize that this is not okay. The sooner you leave, the better it's going to be for yourself, and it's going to take less time for you to heal. But again, healing is a really long and big process that, to be successful, needs a lot of care and attention. So you don't want to go through that trauma, because it's going to kill you within. So please pick your friends wisely. Make sure that you have boundaries. Make sure you know what you want in a friendship, what you're looking for, and go into a friendship with purpose. Don't just be friends with people just because. That's not a good way to go about it, and you're going to realize why sooner or later if you decide to do that. And just make sure you surround yourself with the people you want in your life, and that's really that. But once again, if you find something to be toxic or negative, any kind of negative thing, try your best to get away from it as soon as you can. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe to join the community, and goodbye.